Well guys, here it is, the tank of my dreams. I have thought about this tank for the last 2 or 3 years now, and I finally have it. It's been sitting here for maybe 2 or 3 months empty, and I've been dying to get it built, and it's just taken this long to gather up the supplies and boil the wood and clean the rocks and get money get money for plants, and it's time. I'm about to build it. I'm just waiting for the weekend to end so I can order my plants. I don't have the name of the .com in front of me, but I've bought plants from them before and I was definitely not dissatisfied. They do only ship next day air this time of year according to the website, so I'll be ordering the plants Monday and hopefully getting them Tuesday, and then I'll have no choice but to get to work on it. I've been working on this in my head for years. I've had a big tank before, a long time ago. It was 1997, I believe. A long time ago. Since then, it's just been 5, 10, 20 gallon tanks just to keep me sane, because I can't live without my fish tanks. But I finally got another big tank, and I know a lot of people say their dream tank is 75 gallons, 150 gallons, huge tank. That's their dream tank. For one, I can't really afford that. Two, I'm renting, and that could seriously cost a lot of money if it broke. I don't know if the floor could handle it. So for me to get a 38 or a 40 gallon tank is perfect, because my dream tank is a tank that will allow me to have several different kinds of fish. The types of fish that I like, you have to have a minimum of 5 or 6 each, minimum. So for me to have a variety of fishes and that minimum number of fish, I have to have at least this 38 or 40 gallon tank. So yes, this is my dream tank. It will give me the stock listing that will satisfy me. I've been writing this down. Break time, lunch time, weekends, that's all I think about. I have it on my desktop wallpaper, constantly changing my fish tank wallpaper. But here it is. It's about to be assembled, and I cannot wait, because I could pull up a chair and sit in front of that tank and just stare for like an hour. Now here, I don't know if you can see, I already have an established 10 gallon. That was just the bare necessity to keep me happy as far as having fish in the house. I don't just like to look at them. I like to clean the tank and do the maintenance. It's not work to me. I love having fish tanks. So here I bought, what is it? I bought this filter pad. I've cut huge pieces of this off and I've put it in my established tank. I've been seeding it for a few weeks now, and I'm hoping that that will really speed up the cycling process in this big tank, because I really want to get it cycled quickly. I don't want any of my plants to suffer from any high levels of ammonia, and I really want to get some fish going in there. It will be slow adding the fish. I can't just throw them all in there at once. It'll be a few at a time, quarantining first. So it could be Christmas or even New Year's before I have my full stocking. So really looking forward to it. I want to take my time and do it right. And here we actually published this. It's got a magnetic clasp, and it's just a nice journal. I'm going to keep records of the tank, when I've done the cleaning, if I've put root tabs in, whatever. Got my receipts. I'm going to eventually sit down and fill that out. This, something I have been working on. It's the layout. It's actually the inner dimensions of the tank. Kind of measured it out, and I actually got my driftwood, I set it on the wood, and I traced around it because I want to know exactly what I'm facing, what kind of room do I have. You know, if you plan it out in your head, and you go to put it in the tank, dimensions could be all off, you know, you're just eyeballing it, and then things don't actually fit. So I actually put the wood on here, and I drew out where I want my plants, what kinds of plants. The only thing is I did not, since my rocks were in the water and being boiled, I didn't put them on here to actually get the shape and size of the rock. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. I don't have the plants yet, so tomorrow I will be doing the final rinsing of all of the rocks and driftwood. Right now they're on their last boil, and they're not floating, which makes me very happy. So once I clean them up, I'm going to take a few rocks and put them on here and see how it works. I'm just so excited about getting this together. I actually had to adjust my layout because my original plans, my stock listing, everything was designed for a 40-gallon long. I had my heart set on it, and then one day I walked into the store and there was this 38-gallon complete set. I mean, complete. It had everything it needed, and it was like $179 or something. I had the money, I wanted the tank and the stand all in one set, so I grabbed it, and actually got the T5. I've heard about these T5s for a few years now. I've never bothered looking into them because they're very expensive, and like I said, I've only had like 5, 10, 20-gallon tanks, and just enough to keep me going until I could get this dream tank. And well, I finally got my T5, because knowing that I'm setting this up and knowing that I'm going to spend all this money on these plants, I'm not going to have them just wither and die under this stock light. Now the stock light, I paid for it. It came with this tank, and I'm thinking about using it. Actually, I'm going to replace this hood with a completely glass lid, glass lid. So I'm going to have the T5 and this stock light in front, and I'm thinking about having a very, very dim light for evening, so I can kind of have the bright light all day for my plants, and then kind of tone it down as it nears evening, and then have a sort of not really night light, but just a softer light, so I can still enjoy the fish, but it won't be so bright. And then as the lights come on in the room, I can turn the light here off. And I paid for it, so why not use it? And I do want the glass lid. I don't really like this heavy plastic hood. I like to have glass. I like to be able to look in, and you get more light in that way. So yeah, eventually I'll get the glass lid. But for right now, this works. I can't wait to actually turn this on, pull up a chair, and just watch everything. Just the motion of the water blowing the plants around. I mean, that's just fascinating to me. I can just look at every little detail and every little movement. I mean, I like the plants almost as much as I like the fish. And it's just really exciting that this is actually finally going to happen, instead of just working it out on paper and taking books out of the library and going online and looking at pictures. I'm finally going to have this big tank in my room, and I'm just going to really enjoy building it. I'm going to enjoy taking my time with stocking it and watching the fish. I'm going to quarantine the fish. Quarantining's not really something I've ever done before, because as I mentioned, I had very small tanks, so it didn't really matter. The small tanks, 5 or 10 gallon, you have one centerpiece fish, like maybe a betta, a couple of bottom feeders, and maybe some neons, and you know, if anything goes wrong, you just treat the whole tank. But this tank is going to be well run, and they will be quarantined because there are going to be so many fish that I just do not want to risk introducing any kind of parasites. I don't want to lose any of my fish. I want the tank to be clean and healthy, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying watching my fish. And one thing I would like to mention is this Lowe's bucket. I've had cheap buckets from, oh, I can't even say the disgusting name. I will say it. Okay, Walmart. I hate Walmart, by the way. But I got a cheap bucket from Walmart, carrying some water from a tank to the other room, and it just folded, it buckled, and the handle snapped right out, and the water went everywhere. That was great. But this Lowe's bucket, it's really stiff, it's rigid, it's not going to buckle. The hooks actually, they actually go in. I can't even see it. They hook in, and then they just really latch on good to the bucket. It's really good buy. And I think it was like $1. Oh, and Jess Marquis, she's the one who bought it for me. I usually have all my supplies, but I've moved and gotten rid of everything. So thank you, Jess Marquis, for buying me my Lowe's bucket. I've been stocking up on supplies. Unfortunately, I kind of dipped into them for the 10-gallon, mostly the water conditioner, so I bought a couple more. I don't really need too much at first. Anything I need, I can get next month or whatever. I don't really need like a net. I don't need a net yet because I'm not really putting any fish in there. Got some Cuttlebone. We have very soft water, and I have pH troubles. And pH is fine coming out of the tap, and then it just crashes. It goes, you can't even measure it. It goes right off the chart. And I did a little research and found out about Cuttlebone. It helps harden the water, buffer the pH, so I don't really have to worry too much about the pH anymore. It's taken a lot of time to relearn how to do this, because in Texas we use the well water. I had no problems. I could tear a tank down and move to another place, build it back up, and have no new tank syndrome. Never had any problems. And then ever since we came back to Maine, it's just been problem after problem, relearning the whole hobby. I had to just go to the library, go online, whatever, and just look at what was going on with the tank, with the water, and I just learned all over again. I'm really excited, really ready to do this, and of course I'm going to be doing this with, I bought sand. I don't know if that's going to focus. I bought sand. I have organic soil. I've been playing around with that for a while. Started out with a little 5-gallon betta tank. I usually use gravel and root tabs and that sort of thing. I learned about these dirted tanks. I was so excited thinking about plant growth. I really love live plants in a tank, and I found out about dirt and sand cap. So I watched a few videos, and I tried it out. I couldn't find pool filter sand anywhere, so I went to like Home Depot and I got play sand, and I rinsed it, and it was just such a pain in the ass. I was using like pantyhose, and I don't even do that anymore. I just rinse it in a bowl, swish it around with my hand, just put it down. You know, I tried to find a pool filter sand. I heard really good things about it, and I had the money. I'm like, screw it. I just spent the money on the Petco sand. It's really expensive, kind of, you know, but I got it. I don't want to dig around looking for parts and components. I just got the sand, I got the dirt, I got my supplies, and I'll be ready to go. And the funny thing is about this organic soil, I can't remember the name of the soil that I used. Oh, it was Miracle-Gro in the green bag. In my 10-gallon tank I have Miracle-Gro organic soil, and you would not believe the tannins. I've had to do a million water changes. It was months and months before it finally stopped leaching tannins, and because I could not remember the name of this Just Natural, and that's what I bought years ago when I first started trying out these dirted tanks, and I never once had to do like a water change for tea stain tannin water. Never. And I heard so much about it and heard so much about it. I'm like, oh, do I really want to do this? I don't want to have to do all this water changing, and I want a beautiful clear tank. And it never happened. I was amazed. So I kind of scrolled around all of my old posts on my Facebook page to find the name of this soil again. So I want to go back to that, and I found it. So hopefully it will give me the same results and have good, clear water and excellent growth, and give me that tank that I can see in my head. My one fear is the cycling process, the ammonium. I'm really hoping that I don't burn my plants or kill my plants. I just want gorgeous plants and a cycled tank, and I just want to slowly add my fish and have this beautiful tank to stare into night after night. To me, the tank is better than TV. So yeah, that's my tank, and I am just super excited. It's kind of like the calm before the storm. I've been working all weekend trying to get things ready, and I'm just kind of tired. I don't want to do any more. I just want to order the plants and then get them, and then it's on. So I just need to take a few pictures. I want to take some video, but I also want to take a lot of pictures and have a sort of record of building this tank. And it's getting late. I just want to sit down and maybe watch a movie or something. And tomorrow I'm actually going to freshen up, read my all my paperwork on this build. I don't want to remind myself of any issues or things I wanted to take care of before I start this. But yeah, that's my tank, and it's in my bedroom, so I'll be in here most of the time, just either watching a movie or watching my tank. So we will add to this as we get our supplies. Thanks.